At the northernmost point of our planet lies a frozen world like no other. Welcome to the Arctic, a land of ice, snow, and stark beauty. It's a place of extremes, where darkness and light rule the seasons, and where life has adapted in fascinating ways to survive one of the harshest environments on Earth. Despite the long, cold winters, the Arctic is home to some of the most remarkable creatures and plants, each perfectly suited to its unforgiving surroundings. In the Arctic, the tilt of Earth's axis creates a world of dramatic seasonal shifts. During the summer, the Arctic experiences long days that seem endless. The sun doesn't set at all, casting a magical glow over the landscape that's known as the midnight sun. This phenomenon occurs around the summer solstice, when the sun stays above the horizon for a full 24 hours, bathing the land in continuous daylight. It's a time of abundance, when the cool summer temperatures allow the plants and animals of the region to thrive, and the animals make the most of the long days to forage, breed, and care for their young. As the season shifts towards fall, the days grow shorter and shorter, until the inevitable arrival of polar night. During this time, which can last for weeks or even months, the sun doesn't rise at all, plunging the land into total darkness. Despite the cold and the darkness, life still endures. The northern lights, or Aurora Borealis, light up the night sky with vibrant hues of green, purple, and pink. These natural light displays are caused by charged particles from the sun colliding with the Earth's magnetosphere, producing a breathtaking glow that has captivated humans for millennia. In some parts of the world, this magical spectacle can also be seen in the southern hemisphere, where it is known as the Southern Lights. The Arctic Circle, an imaginary line that runs around the Earth at approximately 66 degrees north latitude, marks the region where these phenomena occur. Areas within the Arctic Circle experience at least one day of polar night and one day of midnight sun each year. The Arctic itself spans parts of 8 countries: Greenland, Canada, the United States, Alaska, Russia, Norway, Finland, Sweden, and Iceland, and is primarily made up of the Arctic Ocean, which is surrounded by land masses covered in ice and snow. At the southern edge of the Arctic Circle, you'll find the tundra, a unique ecosystem that supports hardy plants and animals adapted to the region's extreme climate. The tundra is mostly treeless, with only grasses, mosses, and small shrubs able to survive the freezing conditions. The short summer is often very wet, as the top layer of soil thaws, but the water can't sink into the ground because it hits the permafrost, a layer of permanently frozen soil beneath the surface. This leads to the formation of small lakes and marshes, which are crucial habitats for migratory birds. The tundra also becomes a breeding ground for several species of waterfowl, such as the magnificent trumpeter swan. These swans travel from as far south as Texas or Mexico to breed in the cool summer wetlands of the Arctic. Trumpeter swans are the largest waterfowl in the world, with a wingspan of up to 10 feet, 3 meters, and adults weighing as much as 30 pounds, 13.6 kilograms. Unfortunately, their populations were decimated by hunting in the early 20th century, but thanks to conservation efforts, their numbers have rebounded in Alaska and other parts of the Arctic. Fish such as salmon and cod also migrate north to the Arctic, drawing predators like bears, eagles, and even whales. These predators rely on the Arctic's abundance of fish and other marine life to survive. Wolverines, foxes, and musk oxen, along with large herds of caribou, also known as reindeer, roam the tundra, taking advantage of the region's seasonal bounty. The caribou are famous for their long migrations. In winter, they travel south to snow-covered forests, where they dig through the snow to find food. In the spring, they migrate north again to the tundra to give birth and take advantage of the fresh plant life. Some caribou travel over 3.000 miles, 5.000 kilometers, every year, making them one of the longest migrating land mammals in the world. These long migrations are essential to their survival, as they rely on the nutritious plants of the tundra to sustain them. The Arctic is not just a land of migration, it's also a land of adaptation. Many animals that live here have evolved unique characteristics to survive the extreme cold. One of the most obvious adaptations is the color of their fur or feathers. The snowy owl, for example, has white feathers that blend perfectly into the winter landscape. The Arctic fox, on the other hand, changes its fur color to blend in with the seasons, brown or gray during the summer, and white in the winter to match the snow. Another animal that changes its appearance with the seasons is the ptarmigan. In the summer, these birds have patchy brown and white feathers, but as winter approaches, they grow pure white plumage to help them blend in with the snowy landscape. This camouflage helps protect them from predators, although it also makes it harder to spot them in the summer when they're more vulnerable. Other Arctic birds, like the puffin, rely on different tactics for camouflage. Puffins are seabirds that spend most of their lives at sea, returning to land only to breed. They have black feathers on their backs and white feathers on their bellies, a pattern called countershading. This helps them blend into the dark ocean waters when viewed from above and the bright sky when viewed from below. Puffins are excellent swimmers, using their wings to propel them underwater as they dive for fish. Much like penguins, the Arctic's waters are also home to some of the largest animals on Earth. Humpback whales, for example, travel north each spring to feast on the abundance of krill and small fish found in the cold waters. These whales often hunt in groups, using a technique called bubble net feeding. By blowing bubbles around a school of fish, they trap the fish and then swim up from beneath to scoop them up in their massive mouths. The Arctic is also home to polar bears, the largest land carnivores in the world. These iconic creatures are expert hunters, primarily preying on seals. They use breathing holes in the ice to catch their prey, waiting patiently for seals to surface for air. Polar bears have thick white fur that helps them blend into their snowy environment, and a layer of fat beneath their skin keeps them warm in the freezing temperatures. Their wide paws allow them to walk on snow and thin ice without sinking, and their sharp claws help them catch prey. Perhaps the most surprising creatures in the Arctic are the walruses. These large marine mammals have thick skin and layers of blubber to keep them warm in the icy waters. They also have long tusks that can grow up to 3 feet, 1 meter long. Walruses use their tusks to pull themselves out of the water onto the ice, and they also use them to break through ice in search of breathing holes. Walruses are social animals, often found in large groups on ice floes, where they rest and sleep. While the Arctic may seem like a harsh, forbidding place, it is far from lifeless. Despite the extreme conditions, this region is teeming with life, from the smallest insects to the largest mammals. Many species in the Arctic depend on the cold and ice to survive, and without these frozen habitats, they would not be able to thrive. However, human activity, such as hunting, pollution, and resource extraction, is threatening the delicate balance of this ecosystem. As the climate warms and the ice melts, the Arctic is changing rapidly. This is a region that has always been remote and difficult to access, but it is now facing new challenges as humans encroach on its fragile environment. We must work to protect the Arctic so that its unique creatures and ecosystems can continue to flourish for generations to come. Join us in exploring the Arctic, a place where life endures against the odds, and where nature's beauty is on full display. From the stunning northern lights to the majestic creatures that call this frozen world home, the Arctic is a place of wonder that inspires awe and respect.